The space station called Harmony Prime floated in the dark space between stars. It was old, very old. The aliens who built it did so 12,000 years ago. Now it served as the meeting place for 400 different species from across the galaxy. They called themselves the Galactic Union. Ambassador Una Park stood at the window of her small room and looked out at the stars. She was 43 years old, with short black hair and calm eyes. Back on Earth, she had worked as a crisis negotiator. She talked to dangerous people and made them put down their weapons. Now she talked to aliens. Humanity had been traveling through space for only 200 years. In that time, they had built colonies on 3 star systems. They had met other species. Some were friendly, some were not. But they had never met the Galactic Union until 6 months ago. The door opened behind her. Captain Taeho Kim walked in. He was a tall man with a serious face. He commanded the human warship Steadfast, which had brought them here. "They are ready for us," he said. Una nodded. She picked up her bag and followed him out. The Grand Assembly Hall was enormous. Una had seen pictures, but they did not show how big it really was. Thousands of seats rose up in circles around a central platform. In those seats sat beings of every shape and size. Some had scales, some had feathers, some looked like walking trees. Some had no shape at all and floated in special containers. At the center of the highest row sat the High Arbiter. His name was Vonak. He was a Torelli, the species that had founded the Union long ago. He was very old, even for his kind. His skin was gray and wrinkled, and his eyes were like black glass. Una walked to the platform. Dr. Ji-Woo Han walked beside her. Ji-Woo was the team's science advisor. She knew more about alien species than anyone else from Earth. "Welcome, humans," Vonak said. His voice was old but strong. "You have come far. We are pleased." "Thank you for inviting us," Una said. "Let us not waste time," Vonak continued. "For 12,000 years, species have joined our union. We offer protection. We offer trade. We offer peace. In return, we ask for cooperation." A screen appeared in the air before Una. Words scrolled across it. "The Standard Accords," it said at the top. Una read carefully. Her heart grew cold as she read. The terms were simple. Humanity would give control of their military to the Union. Humanity would only expand to places the Union chose. Humanity would give 40% of everything they made to the Union. In exchange, the Union would protect them and let them trade with other species. "These terms are standard," Vonak said. "Every species has accepted them. Every species has been happy." Una looked at the faces around her. 400 species, all of them watching, all of them waiting. "I would like time to study these terms," she said, "and to speak with my government." Vonak's eyes narrowed slightly. "This is unusual, but we will allow it. You have 3 days." Back in her room, Una sat with Ji-Woo and Taeho. The room was checked for listening devices. They found 7. "What did you find?" Una asked Ji-Woo. Ji-Woo pulled up her data screen. "I have been studying the Union species for months. Something is wrong with them." "Wrong how?" "They do not grow. Their populations stay the same or get smaller. They do not invent new things. They do not build new colonies. They do not explore. They just exist." Taeho leaned forward. "All of them?" "All of them. Every species that joined the Union eventually stopped growing. Some did it fast, some did it slow, but they all did it." Una felt something cold in her stomach. "The protection they offer, it is not protection." "No," Ji-Woo said, "it is control. They take your military so you cannot fight. They limit where you can go so you cannot grow. They take your resources so you become dependent. This is not a union, it is a cage." The room was silent. "If we refuse," Taeho said slowly, "they will be angry. Yes, Yuna said. They might attack us. Yes. We are small. They are big. We have 3 star systems. They have thousands. Yes. Taiho nodded slowly. Good. I wanted to make sure we understood. He smiled a small, hard smile. I say we refuse. Yuna contacted Earth. She explained everything. She sent Jiwoo's research. She told them what the Union really wanted. The response came back in hours. It was short. They are not offering partnership. They are offering a gilded cage. We do not accept. Tell them no. Yuna read the message 3 times. Then she stood up and looked out at the stars. Tomorrow, she would tell the most powerful organization in the galaxy that humanity did not want their protection. Tomorrow, she would make enemies of beings who had ruled for 12,000 years. She was not afraid. She was ready. Somewhere out there, 8 billion humans lived on Earth. Millions more lived on colonies across 3 star systems. All of them were counting on her to protect their future. She would not fail them. The Grand Assembly Hall was full. Every seat was taken. News had spread that the humans would give their answer today. No one wanted to miss it. Ambassador Yuna Park walked to the central platform. Her steps were steady. Her face was calm. Behind her walked Captain Taiho Kim and Dr. Jiwoo Han. A young woman named Mirai Song followed them. She was a junior diplomat, just 26 years old. Her job was to watch the other species and report what she saw. High Arbiter Vonak looked down from his seat. His black eyes showed nothing. Humans, he said. You have had 3 days. Have you reached a decision? Yuna took a breath. We have. And your answer? We thank the Galactic Union for their offer. We are honored that you thought of us. Yuna paused. The hall was completely silent. However, we must respectfully decline. For a moment, nothing happened. Then the hall exploded with noise. Hundreds of voices spoke at once. Some shouted, some whispered. Some made sounds that humans could not understand. Vonak raised one hand. Slowly, the noise died down. Perhaps you do not understand, he said. His voice was very controlled. In 12,000 years, no species has refused, not one. The Standard Accords are not a suggestion. They are the way things are done. I understand, Yuna said, but we cannot accept these terms. Why? Because we value our freedom. We value our right to choose our own path. We value our right to grow and explore and become whatever we can become. Your terms would take these things from us. Vonak leaned forward. We offer protection. Without us, you are alone in a dangerous galaxy. We have been alone before. We survived. We offer trade, access to technologies beyond your imagination. We will make our own technologies, we always have. We offer peace. Peace without freedom is not peace. It is just a quiet prison. The hall was silent again. Mirai watched the other delegates carefully. Most looked shocked. Some looked angry, but a few, she noticed, looked different. They watched the humans with strange expressions. It took her a moment to recognize what she saw in their eyes. It was hope. Vonak tried again. His voice was softer now, almost kind. Perhaps we can adjust the terms. The tribute could be reduced. 30% instead of 40%. No. 20%. No. The military oversight could be advisory only. We would not command your forces. We would only advise. No. The expansion limits could be flexible. We could discuss each case. No. Each time Vonak offered something, Yuna refused. She did not argue. She did not explain more. She simply said no. The High Arbiter's face changed. The calm mask cracked. For the first time in centuries, he looked angry. You are making a mistake, he said. His voice was cold now. Species that stand alone often find the galaxy to be a dangerous place. There are threats out there, old threats, hungry threats. Without the Union's protection, you would be vulnerable. Everyone in the hall understood what he meant. It was a threat. Join us or face what comes alone. Una did not flinch. We have faced threats before. Our history is full of them. Wars, plagues, natural disasters. We have faced extinction many times. We are still here. She took one step forward. Her voice was clear and strong. We would rather face danger as free beings than live safely in a cage. That is our answer. That is our final answer. Vonak stared at her. His black eyes were like stones. Then he stood up. This assembly will take a recess, he announced. We must discuss how to respond to this unprecedented situation. As the delegates filed out, Mireille moved close to Una. Some of them are talking, she whispered. The younger ones, from different species. They are asking questions I do not think they have asked before. What kind of questions? They are asking why no one has ever refused before. They are asking what would happen if they refused too. Una looked at the emptying hall. Thousands of years of tradition had just been broken. A single word, spoken 12 times, had done what nothing else could. No. Such a small word. Such a powerful word. Captain Kim touched her arm. We should go. I do not think we are safe here anymore. No, Una agreed. We are not. They walked back to their ship. As they left, Una looked back one last time at the ancient station. For 12,000 years, the Council had ruled. For 12,000 years, every species had said yes, until today. She did not know what would come next. War, maybe. Threats, certainly. Hard times, definitely. But as she stepped onto the Steadfast and the doors closed behind her, she felt something she had not expected to feel. She felt proud. 1 month passed after the refusal. The humans went home. They built more ships. They trained more soldiers. They prepared for trouble. The trouble came on a quiet morning. New Busan was a small colony on the edge of human space. 10,000 people lived there. They were farmers, mostly, growing food in the rich soil. They had come to build new lives far from the crowded cities of Earth. Lieutenant Yunji Kang was eating breakfast when the alarm rang. She was 28 years old, a fighter pilot on the Steadfast. She had been stationed at New Busan to help protect the colony. She ran to the command center. The screens showed ships, many ships. They were coming fast. Who are they? She asked. Unknown, the officer said. Their identification codes have been removed, but their ship designs, they look like Veth warships. The Veth were the military arm of the Galactic Union. Everyone knew this. The Council was sending a message. Pirates, Yunji said bitterly. That is what they will call them. Pirates that just happen to have Union warships. The colonists did not panic. They had prepared for this. Every adult knew where to go. Every child knew how to hide. Within minutes, the streets were empty. The people were in bunkers deep underground. The enemy ships arrived. There were 30 of them. They began firing at the colony. Yunji ran to her fighter. Her hands moved fast, flipping switches and pressing buttons. The engine roared to life. All fighters, launch, came the order. 20 human fighters rose into the sky. They were outnumbered, but they were not afraid. The battle was fierce. Enemy ships were bigger and stronger. But human pilots were clever and fast. Yunji flew like she was dancing, moving through the enemy fire like water through rocks. Then the Steadfast arrived. Captain Taiho Kim had kept his fleet on high alert since the refusal. When the distress call came, he was already moving. His ship jumped through space and appeared behind the enemy. All ships, fire, he ordered. The human fleet hit the enemy from behind. The Veth ships, surprised, tried to turn. But it was too late. They were trapped between the colony's defenders and the fleet. Yunji saw her chance. The enemy flagship was big and slow. Its shields were down on one side. She called to her squadron. "Follow me! We hit the flagship!" 6 fighters flew together. They were small and fast. They got close before the flagship could react. Their weapons hit the ship's engines. Once, twice, 3 times. The flagship stopped moving. "Captain," Yunji reported, "enemy flagship is disabled. Engines are dead." There was silence on the radio. Everyone expected the order to destroy it. "Do not destroy it," Captain Kim said. "Capture it. I want prisoners. I want their computers." Soldiers boarded the flagship. The Veth crew fought, but they were beaten. Soon the ship was in human hands. The other enemy ships tried to run. Some escaped. Most did not. When the battle ended, New Busan was damaged but standing. 47 colonists had died. It was a tragedy, but it could have been worse, much worse. Dr. Ji Woo-han arrived the next day. She went straight to the captured flagship. She found the computers and began to work. What she found made her sick. Orders, official orders, from the Galactic Council. The attack was not from pirates. It was from the Council itself. They had removed the identification codes to hide their involvement. They had planned to kill enough humans to scare them. Then they would offer peace again. And this time, the humans would accept. Ji-woo brought the evidence to Ambassador Yuna Park. Yuna read everything. Then she made a decision. "Broadcast this," she said, "on every channel, every frequency. Let everyone see what the Council did." The broadcast went out across the galaxy. Billions of beings saw the evidence. They saw the orders. They saw the Council's plan to attack innocent people. At the end of the broadcast, Yuna spoke. "We know what you did. We have proof. And we are still standing. We did not ask for this fight, but we will not run from it. If you want peace, we are ready. If you want war, we are ready for that too." Across the galaxy, things began to change. On 100 worlds, beings watched the broadcast. Young beings. Beings who had only known life under the Union. They began to ask questions. Why did the Council attack peaceful people? What else had the Council lied about? Why had their own species stopped growing and building and dreaming? On some worlds, there were protests. Small at first, then bigger. The Council had wanted to make an example of humanity. Instead, they had made them into a symbol of what it meant to say no, a symbol of what it meant to be free. Lieutenant Yunji Kong stood on New Busan and watched the sunset. Behind her, workers were rebuilding. The colony would survive. It would grow. She thought about the battle. She thought about the pilots who had died. She thought about the colonists who would never see another sunset. Then she thought about the future, about children who would grow up free, about humans who would build and explore and dream without limits. It was worth it, she decided. All of it was worth it. The test had come. Humanity had passed. But she knew this was only the beginning. 6 months had passed since the attack on New Busan. Human space had changed. Ships came every day now. Ships from Union worlds. They carried refugees. They carried traders. They carried the curious. All of them wanted to see the beings who had said no to the Council. Director Junho Baek ran the new Interspecies Relations Bureau. He was a busy man. His office never closed. There were always more visitors to process, more questions to answer, more problems to solve. Today, he had a special visitor. Her name was Sarah. She was a Torelli, the same species as High Arbiter Vonak. But she was young, barely 500 years old. She was also a historian who had spent her life studying the Union's past. She had come to human space alone. She had brought only one thing with her, a data crystal containing records that no one had seen for thousands of years. "I stole them," she admitted to Junho, "from the great archive on my homeworld. If they catch me, I will be executed." Why did you take such a risk? Junho asked. Because the truth matters. Because my people have forgotten who we used to be. Because someone had to remember. Junho took her to see Ambassador Yuna Park. Together they read the ancient records. What they found changed everything. 12,000 years ago, the Union was different. It was not a cage. It was a partnership. Species joined freely. They shared knowledge and helped each other. They explored the galaxy together. They were equals. But slowly, over thousands of years, things changed. The Torelli, who had founded the Union, began to take more power. They said it was for efficiency. They said it was for safety. They said it was for everyone's good. The Standard Accords came later. At first, they were gentle. Then they became stronger. Species that questioned them had accidents. Their best scientists disappeared. Their resources were diverted. Slowly, carefully, they were made weak and dependent. We did not stagnate by accident, Sarah said. Her voice was sad. We were made to stagnate. The Council wanted species that would not challenge them, species that would accept things as they are. Yuna understood now. Humanity's rapid growth had frightened the Council, not because humans were dangerous, but because humans were proof that the Union's way was not the only way. Humans were succeeding without permission, without control, without limits. We need to share this, Yuna said. If you share it, there will be war, Sarah warned. There is already going to be war. At least this way people will know what they are fighting for. The records were sent across the galaxy. Billions of beings saw the truth about their history. They saw how the Union had been corrupted. They saw how their ancestors had been tricked and weakened. The protests grew larger. On some worlds, governments fell. New leaders rose, leaders who remembered what their species used to be. Delegates from 12 species came to human space secretly. They met with Yuna in a small room on Earth. We want to leave the Union, they said, but we are afraid. We are weak. If we leave alone, we will be destroyed. Yuna looked at them. Beings from 12 different worlds. Some had scales, some had fur, some had neither. But they all had the same look in their eyes, the look of beings who had forgotten what it felt like to be free and were just now remembering. We cannot promise to protect you, she said honestly. We are small. We have only 3 star systems. We cannot fight the entire Union. Then what can you offer? Yuna thought carefully before answering. We can offer fair trade. We can share our technology openly. We can work together as partners, not as masters and servants, she paused. And we can promise you one thing that the Union never could. What is that? We will never tell you what you are allowed to become. The delegates looked at each other. Then, one by one, they agreed. They called it the Free Systems Compact. It was not an empire. It was not even an alliance in the old sense. It was simply a promise to trade fairly, to share openly, and to let each species find its own path. News of the compact spread fast. More species asked to join. Some were small, some were large. All of them were tired of being told what to do. High Arbiter Vonak received reports every day. He watched as his Union crumbled piece by piece. He watched as species that had been loyal for thousands of years turned away. Finally, he called a meeting of the full council. We have tried threats, he said. We have tried attacks. We have tried lies. Nothing has worked. The humans have not just refused us. They have started to destroy us. What do you suggest? A delegate asked. Vonak's old face was hard as stone. War, he said. Total war. We gather every loyal ship. We attack their worlds. We destroy them so completely that no one will ever think of refusing us again. The council voted. The decision was made. War was coming. But for the first time in 12,000 years, the Union would not be fighting alone against a single enemy. They would be fighting against beings who had remembered what freedom meant. And that made all the difference. 1 year after humanity said no, the Union's fleet gathered at the edge of human space. Thousands of ships from 100 loyal species, the largest armada ever assembled. Captain Taiho Kim watched them from the bridge of the Steadfast. His fleet was smaller, much smaller, but it was not alone. Ships from the Free Systems Compact floated beside human vessels. 12 species had joined. Their ships were old and their crews were nervous. They had never fought before, but they had chosen to stand together. "All ships report ready," Lieutenant Yunji Kang reported from her fighter. "Good," Captain Kim said. "Remember the plan. We cannot win by strength. We win by surviving. Every minute we last, every ship we destroy, more of them will question why they are here." The Union fleet began to move. High Arbiter Vonak had come himself. He wanted to see the humans destroyed with his own eyes. "Attack," he ordered. The battle began. It was brutal. The Union had more ships, bigger ships, better weapons. The Free Systems fleet was pushed back. Ships exploded. Beings died. The darkness of space filled with fire and metal. Captain Kim refused to retreat. He moved his ship into the thickest fighting. Where he went, others followed. Lieutenant Kang led her squadron against Union command ships. They were small and fast. They hit and ran, hit and ran. Each attack caused chaos. Dr. Ji Wuhan worked with scientists from defecting Union species. Together they found ways to disrupt enemy communications. Union ships began to lose contact with each other. But it was not enough. The Union fleet was too big. The Free Systems fleet was losing. Then something strange happened. A Union ship stopped firing. Then another. Then 10 more. "What is happening?" Captain Kim demanded. "Captain," his communications officer said, "we are receiving transmissions from Union ships. They say they refuse to continue." Mutiny. The crews of Union ships were refusing to fight. More ships stopped. 20, 50, 100. Nearly a third of the Union armada went quiet. Their weapons powered down. Their engines stopped. Vonak screamed orders. He demanded they attack. He threatened them with execution. They did not obey. One ship broadcast a message. It was a Torelli vessel, crewed by young members of Vonak's own species. "Our ancestors built the Union to protect life," the message said, "not to destroy it, not to control it. We remember what we were meant to be. We will not fight innocent beings. We will not be part of this anymore." The mutineer ships did more than stop fighting. They turned their weapons on the loyal Union vessels. The battle changed. Now the Union fleet was fighting itself. Captain Kim saw his chance. "All ships, attack! Now!" The Free Systems fleet surged forward. Human ships led the way. They hit the confused Union forces hard. Lieutenant Kang flew straight at Vonak's command ship. Enemy fire came at her from every direction. She dodged and twisted. 2 of her pilots died, 3 more. But she kept going. Her weapons hit the command ship's bridge. The shields failed. The hull cracked. Vonak's ship went dark. The loyal Union forces saw their leader fall. They stopped fighting. One by one, they surrendered or fled. The battle was over. Vonak survived. He was captured and brought before the council. But the council he faced was different. The old leaders were gone. New leaders had taken their place. Leaders who wanted change. The standard accords were abolished. Member species were given their freedom. Many joined the Free Systems Compact. Others stayed in a reformed union. Some went their own way. 3 months later, Ambassador Yuna Park stood in a new hall on Earth. Representatives from both the Reformed Union and the Compact had gathered. They were there to sign a new agreement. The new accords were simple. Species would cooperate without controlling each other. They would trade without exploiting. They would help without demanding. They would be partners, not masters and servants. A young Torelli delegate approached Yuna after the signing. "I have a question," they said. "How did you know? How did you know that refusing would lead to all this?" Yuna smiled. "We did not know. We could not know. We just knew that some things cannot be traded away, no matter what we are offered in return." "What things?" "Our freedom, our future, our right to become whatever we can become. We decided we would rather lose everything than give those up." The Torelli thought about this. "That seems foolish. What if you had lost?" "Maybe," Yuna agreed. "But we call it something different." "What do you call it?" "Hope." Outside the windows, ships from 100 worlds orbited Earth. They had not come as conquerors or subjects. They had come as equals, as partners, as friends. Humanity had not just refused to bargain. They had shown the galaxy that there was another way to live, a way based on freedom instead of control, a way based on hope instead of fear. The galaxy would never be the same.